Be okay with not having it all together. Everything that you went through was necessary. Welcome to It Was Necessary podcast. I am your host, Avanti ADIZAHYR, and this episode is a PSA to those of you who have forgotten who you are. Season 1 is all about when music transcends, so of course I will be sharing the song reference towards the end of the episode. Before we jump in, I have some really awesome segments that I will be introducing next season. So if you would like to write in for advice or you just need some words of encouragement on a particular subject, feel free to visit adizahyer.com/it was necessary. Also, make sure you're following It Was Necessary podcast on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Our hashtag is the same across all platforms at It Was Necessary Podcasts. So, this episode came about from basically all of the things that has transpired up until this point. I can't necessarily narrow it down to a relationship. I think it's more so situations as well. Situations that we encounter that kind of makes us forget or we lose ourselves in certain situations, certain relationships. Things happen to us. We go through traumatic experiences where we tend to just forget our power, forget what we possess. And all of this came up because I had a conversation with a friend and she kind of explained some of her issues with a past relationship and how, it took a toll on her. And it kind of reminded me of my situations of being degraded while in a relationship and kind of being stripped away from trusting and having the ability to do certain things and doing things that I'm pretty much known to do in any type of encounter. Basically just losing my identity and what I know and believe of who I am as a person. But her conversation was just more so about how she just got tired of the crazy text messages, the long Bible verse text messages of just rants of verbal abuse. It's pretty much what we can call it. And it took a toll. It took a toll. And you know what they say. You tend to hear things over and over again. You tend to hear somebody call you certain names or say certain things about you repeatedly over and over again. At some point, you begin to internalize that and believe it, which in turn make you less and less aware of who you really are. So I believe those type of situations and scenarios can really strip you of your identity, especially when you're not really fully in the identity of who you are and not confident in that person of who you are, and you're not knowledgeable of the power you have within yourself and what you possess as a human being. Those type of situations and those type of relationships can really take away a lot from who you are. So I basically had to kind of give her a pep talk that day, kind of speak life back into her, help her see that she has the power to control the narrative. It's kind of difficult, of course. Like I told her, it's not going to be an easy thing. It has taken me years to really not allow people to do things that just doesn't make sense. So I told her, those long text messages, they're practically a way of trying to get you to come out of your character. They're bringing you down to their level of low vibrations, and your reaction is basically what they're looking for, especially if you've dealt with this person for a very long time and they know what you do, or they think they know what you do when it comes to a certain thing that they may say or a certain thing that they may do. And it was pretty much the same scenario of mine. Like I told her, I went through that whole verbal abuse thing. I've went through physical abuse. I've gone through emotional abuse, mental abuse, all of the abuse. So I'm really, really big on speaking out about domestic violence, because it's not just physical. It's a lot of different elements when it comes to domestic violence. So I had to let her know, you are able to tolerate whatever you want. You are able to not tolerate whatever you want. You are in control of drawing that line. Don't make anyone make you feel like you are obligated to do things or say things because of the connection you have, which in many cases are children. A lot of times they think, since you have that connection of children, that you are obligated to do and act a certain way. That's not the case. You are able to cut ties where you see fit. You are able to draw lines where you see fit. And again, this goes back into my whole spiel on my first episode of creating those boundaries. Yes, you have to communicate when it comes to certain things with having a child, but when it comes to your personal well-being, no. If you know that he is expecting you to respond in a certain manner, don't give them that satisfaction. That's what they seek. All of those long text messages, all of the threats, everything that try to make you feel low like they've done for many years, they will continue that as long as you allow it. So our conversation was really, really deep that day. I tried my absolute best to try to give her some type of relief and let her know, like, no, you don't have to respond. No response is a response. Silence is golden. And if I have not learned that in the last year, I probably wouldn't be as peaceful as I am right now. No, you have to draw the line. So her conversation brought up a lot of how I felt over the years of just feeling like my self-esteem hit the floor. Like it really, really hit the floor. So I just wanted to do this episode to just kind of give a public service announcement to anyone and everyone who may feel like anything that has been said about them, any moment that has been degrading, any person who has who you feel has taken, just strips you of everything. You can rise above that. Okay? I need you to remember who you are and whose you are. Those are two different things. Okay? Know who you are and whose you are. Don't forget it. Don't give people the power that you possess. Eliminate your energy if it does not align with what you are and who you are and what you're trying to do. Period. So, again, that conversation just brought me back. Like, I just had to kind of sit with her and was just like, that's crazy. 'Cause I swear you're telling my story right now of the constant wanting to go in. Like, some of the things people say just blows me. Like, I just don't understand how and why. But then again, it's not for us to understand. So don't even try. Just keep it flowing, keep it going. Okay. But I really want you all to kind of take this as encouragement to step back into your power. If you feel like you've lost yourself, you feel like you've gotten, it's become more difficult to figure out your insecurities or more difficult to deal with the insecurities, go do your homework. I'll probably be preaching this the entire season 1 about finding yourself, healing from trauma, finding a therapist, an advocate, someone who can be your support whenever you hit a crossroad. I promise you guys, it has helped me tremendously. I tell my advocates and my therapists 100 times how much they have helped me with a lot. But it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. But yeah, just finding that and starting with that groundwork to dig yourself back out to where you were. I know a lot of times we get into relationships and, they're saying, they're like, oh, you don't lose yourself in a relationship. It happens. We get so head over heels, we don't know if we're coming or going. And we try to do everything to satisfy the partner, even though the partner's not satisfying us, because everything, like I said, is not equal. Everything is not reciprocated. And that's just pretty much what it is. But yeah, our conversation that day was really, really good. Like, she actually had me go do some extra homework outside of the work I've already been doing, and just let me come to a lot of realizations that I've come across in showing my growth of where I started to where I am now. So a few necessary points that I've discovered based on our conversation that day, and just me going back to doing a little bit more digging and figuring out certain things about myself and kind of seeing, okay, I crossed that off my list. I actually don't do that anymore. I do this. It showed my growth. Like, I've come a long way. I'm kind of proud of myself. So pat myself on the back. But a few necessary points that I've come across with this whole topic was, it was necessary for me to realize that the right relationship will never shrink my character. If you are in any type of situation and you have to downplay who you are or be a different person to satisfy your partner, it is not for you. Walk away. Okay? It was necessary for me to realize that the right relationship will advance me. It will inspire me. And believe it or not, it will open my eyes to really see myself and encourage me to be and do better. Those are the type of relationships and people, regardless of if it's a romantic relationship, a friendship, any situation that you involve yourself in with another human being, should allow you to be yourself. And that person, and vice versa, should see the light in you, be able to speak life to that, and actually help you grow even more than what you are. Also, constantly help you to remember who you are, remember the power that you possess, and always encourage that person to be you. Be the person that you know you are deep down inside, because we all have a person deep down inside that has that real strong, I am that person, I am that girl, I am that guy. We all have that personality. And sometimes it's buried so far down because of things that has happened in our lives to us that we have to go dig it up as a reminder to say, no, I am not the person that you say I am. I'm not who you portray everybody to believe I am. I know who I am. So making sure that you dig deep and find out who you are, so that even when those words are spoken towards you, those degrading words, those talking down on you, telling you who you are not, what you're not going to be able to do, you just going to fail, nobody's going to support you, nobody cares about the little businesses you have, you're not going to do all of that. Trust me, I have heard it all. I have heard it all, y'all. And I just love it now. I love it now. Then I was mortified because, again, you hear it so much repeatedly, you start to believe it. You start to shrink down to the little person that they're actually making you out to believe that you are. So we all have that motivation within us that sometimes get buried underneath people's disgrace and degrading towards us. Dig it up and surround yourself with people that's actually going to help you keep that person in the forefront. But also, when you find yourself at a moment where you just are just down and don't know what to do, surround yourself with people that can actually help you build yourself back up. But don't forget who you are, because, baby, you are that, okay? That chick, that guy. Nobody can tell you otherwise. If they do, just remember that I, Avanti A Desire, told you that you are that girl, you are that guy. Whatever you want to do it. Don't be on anybody else's timeline. Don't let everybody else say, well, you should have been doing this, or you got to do it this way, or you have to master that one first and master this one first. No, you possess a lot of qualities. And if you want to move with all of those qualities at the same time, only God can tell you when you've mastered something, not nobody else. If you feel like you've reached a point that you're satisfied, because nobody can define your success but you, keep that and thrive off that. But don't let anybody deter you. Don't let anybody downgrade you and tell you what you're not able to do, tell you what you should be doing, how you should be doing it. Oh, that's not it. Or you're really not about that. That's you really not doing the work because you're doing it this way. Do things your way. That's just it. Do it your way. Do it the way that God gave you the vision to do it. And don't allow anybody else to come in and try to stir your pot. They don't know all the answers. No matter how successful they are, no matter how much money they have, no matter how many things they've accomplished, that's their story. They can't tell you your story. They can't tell you where you should be at what time in your life or what age is your life. Or they can't tell you what you're supposed to have at a certain age and nobody can determine that but you and God. So leave the naysayers outside. Let them stay on the other side of the fence and move to your own drum. You are the master of all things. Okay? Anything that you start, whether it's a business, a project, anything, a skill, anything that you start, you master it when you decide that you mastered it. You have nothing to show and prove to anybody. So if anybody wants to come in and say, well, why aren't you doing it this way? That doesn't show that you're working hard enough. Tell them mind their business. Because you on God's time, you ain't on their time. Again, this is a PSA to any of y'all who have forgotten who you are. You are God's child. And that should pretty much sum up and answer any question of doubt that you have in your mind about who you are. You possess so many unique qualities. Nobody has but you. Everybody has their own individual unique quality that nobody has but you. Y'all may do similar things. You may have somebody that has something in common. Y'all may do the same. Y'all might be in the same industry. But nobody does what you do, how you do it. Period. So remember that. Okay? So if you have not guessed by now, the song reference for this episode, I actually have 2 songs. And there's probably a lot more because I probably have a whole playlist of I need a reminder. I probably need to create a playlist and put all the songs that I play every time I feel like I'm just having a moment. But these 2, these 2, one of them is one that I rock every time. I just need to boost myself up. And I swear I play it on repeat since she released it. And that is Masterpiece by Jasmine Sullivan. Anytime you need a reminder of who you are and what you possess, play that. Masterpiece by Jasmine Sullivan. Okay? Perfect song. And the other song, which is actually a new song, I think it came out last year. Yeah, I think it came out last year because when it came out, I was like, baby, this it right here. That's all I needed. And I thanked her so many times. Not only is the song just perfect, I was able to do my first soprano on it because, baby, yeah, if you musically inclined, I sing and first soprano, that's me. Holly Bailey Angel. I'm just like, wow. My sons are probably tired of hearing the song because I promise you it stayed on repeat for a good 2 weeks when it first came out. Like, stayed on repeat. I didn't listen to anything else. Because when I say that song came to me at the right time, I thought I was good with Jasmine Sutherland's masterpiece, but Holly Bailey, Angel, but when that song came out and then she had the video, oh, it was just perfect. Because I was in a very, very, very low time in my life and I was just like, I'm just doomed. So shout out to you ladies, Jasmine Sutherland, Holly Bailey. Thank you. If you never hear this episode or never hear this, thank you. Because y'all really help a girl through where she needs a constant reminder of who and whose she is. Okay? If y'all have not heard those songs, go listen to them. Ladies, specifically for you all, remember your crown. Adjust it when necessary, but never let it fall. Never let it hit the floor. Don't even let it tilt too long. You feel it tilting a little bit, make sure you just straighten it back up. Okay? For the kings also, because y'all brothers out there need some love too. Okay? Y'all got to remember who y'all are too. I don't have a song for you right now. I'll probably throw out some somewhere in the comments on a post or something on social media. But find that song, turn it on, turn it all the way up, and let it sink in so it can remind you of who you are and whose you are. Okay? Again, this is just a simple episode that will serve as a PSA to those of you who have forgotten who you are. Let's tap in. Okay? Again, be sure to visit ADIZAHYR.com/it was necessary. Again, I'll be introducing some really, really, really awesome segments next season. I'm really excited. I'll also have some really good, really dope guests joining me on a few episodes. So preparing for all of that now. And if you would like to write in for advice or just need some words of encouragement on a particular subject, go to that link, ADIZAHYR.com/it was necessary. And write into me. Let me know. I'll be happy to read it here on an episode or actually take an episode to just answer questions. But feel free to share, what you would like to talk about and we'll get it done. Also, make sure you're following at It Was Necessary Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. As always, I would like to thank you for taking time out of your life to listen to this episode and allowing me to share my world. As always, be okay with not having it all together while striving to become a better version of yourself, whatever you're going through or whatever you've been through. It is and it was necessary. Okay? Remember that. Let's turn those negatives into a positives because you went through it for a reason. You have a testimony. Okay? As always, I love you from the bottom of my heart all the way to the top. Y'all take care. Until next episode, be safe. Peace out.
Be okay with not having it all together. Everything that you went through was necessary.